Hello, I don't see anyone here yet, so I'll just wait and see if anyone shows up. Hi, Alex. Hi, Alex, I see you. So I think you're the first person here. So if you have any questions or anything you would like me to go over, let me know. Let's see. So Alex, I know there's one person there. Is there anything that you were hoping that I would cover today? Okay, a general question about the final project. Please go over the concept. All right. Let's see. So maybe I'll pull up the actual assignment and review that, and try and explain it a little more as I go through it. Okay, pardon me while I navigate briefly through Blackboard. Okay, here we go. All right. So here's the essence of it, and my objective here really is to give you a little bit of latitude as to how you do this. Okay, so the lag is about 30 to 40 seconds from viewer's side. Does that mean that after, if I move my mouse here, so from my side, so if I move my mouse and talk, it comes through at the same time. But if you ask me a question and then I respond, it takes 30 to 40 seconds for me to respond. That's too bad. I don't know what to do about that. One thing that we could do for the office hours is if you actually connected through Google Plus, I'm pretty sure that's an instant two-way conversation as opposed to through the Hangout on air. For office hours, we could do that. I think for class, there are too many people to do that. But anyways, to go through a little more about the concept of the final project, your presentation should be something that someone who has no idea, has never heard of your project before, they have not heard of the NYC Community Health Survey, or they have not heard about what this hybrid class was about, could get up to speed on what you're talking about. So that's the introduction, what you're talking about, why it matters. So that's a little bit about the motivation, why you're studying this thing, which can, I think, ideally come from a bit of citation from the literature, but at least some sentences motivating why this is something worth studying, besides just the fact that you need to do it for your project. And so that would be the introduction part of it. And then there's this descriptive statistics part. So I'm imagining one page for the introduction, and this is something that would look like a page. So here I'm gonna let me see. Bring up the ink window again. So, page one, something like title, name, pH 750, some stuff that's like a title page, and then introduction. Now you could do that. Okay, Sarah, I just saw your question, and I will address your question next, Sarah. So I replied to your question instantly. So whatever lag you heard is due to Google. So you could have bullet points, or paragraphs. I'm fine with either way, whatever you're more comfortable with. I've seen people do both in poster presentations. So this is going to be one page. And again, it's up to you. You could have one page that is entirely just your title, if you would like. I will find out as soon as possible the size of the poster boards and see what size of a backdrop that you will have for this. So descriptives. This would be like page 2. And here probably table 1, and have some nicely formatted frequencies. And you could also have a few bullet points here maybe that are just describing the data set. So the objective of this whole page is just going to be to help the viewer to understand a bit better what the data set is that you're studying. And keep in mind as you're making all of these that in a poster presentation, it should mostly stand on its own for people who see your poster presentation when you're not there, but the most important presentation of a poster is when you're standing by it and someone comes up and you get to explain it to them. And I will do that on May 19th. I will come around to each of your posters and you'll have 2 to 3 minutes to explain your poster to me. And that's a very typical format for a poster presentation. People will come around. If it's a competition, there will be judges who come around and you will have a few minutes to just go through section by section your poster and explain it to them using what you have here as the props. And you'll go around to each other's posters as well, and I won't have everyone presenting at once. You'll present in shifts so that you can take turns seeing each other's work and explaining it to each other. So methods. Methods, I think, is going to be mostly paragraphs or bullet points, and that's going to be probably page 3, something like that. List list hypotheses, statistical tests, doesn't hurt here to have some justification. Vacation if unclear. So it should be clear from your descriptives page what your variable types are. People know then whether they're categorical or continuous data. If there's any kind of a judgment involved in what statistical tests that you choose here, then it's worth justifying it. And this could include things like normality assumptions, if you checked, do your continuous data look normal? Then you could say that here. So this really is just listing your methods. Results. So results. This might be a couple pages, maybe 4 to 5. I don't know. These are just guesses. They might be longer, or it might just be like this. This will have some figures. Figure 1, unless you had some figures in your descriptives, which is possible, then maybe this is figure 2. this would be plots of findings. Maybe you have a figure 2. And you have labels on your axes, and you have descriptive captions. So you have several lines of text in each of your captions. And then you probably also have some bullet points of results. So this is not where you're going to discuss the results. It's not where you're going to make conclusions. You will have results of hypothesis tests, but this really is just kind of listing your results. It's just like listing down your results. And then it's in your summary and conclusions. So, and this is going to be, what are we at now? Page 6. This is where make statements about the results. So if you found that there was a statistically significant association between flu shot and insurance, and that was your strongest association, I don't know, because I haven't analyzed either data set. I'm leaving it up to you guys. But if you found that that was your strongest association, then you would say that again here, but in more of a in a way that someone coming could see what the main messages of your study were. So you would say here, the strongest association that we found with flu shots was this, and the association was. So that's in a way a bit repetitive from the results, but it's a bit more synthesized here. You have detail in the results. This is just your main finding. You're not saying which test you used. You're not showing any plots here. This is just a brief take-home message. This is where you will also talk about limitations and implications and future work. So what do you think needs to be done? If there's anything that is still left unresolved from your study, what would need to be done to resolve that? And implications are, just that around, what does it mean for public health or for instruction of hybrid courses? What you have found here. Within the limitations of your study, and how future work might be able to overcome those limitations. So Alex, does that help a bit? And I'm happy to answer more questions about this. In terms of physically what it will look like, I expect that you will have a poster board that looks something like this, although it might be landscape. I'm not sure. It might be like this, so you could lay out your sheets like, page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6. Something like that. And I will try to find out what the dimensions of our poster boards are, so you can get more creative with the layout if you wish to. But you know, each of these will just be, you know, a 8.5 by 11 inch paper, so that it's easy. You can just print it and then come and tack it up on this board. We'll have stuff there for you to attach it. Okay. Great. I'm glad, Alex. And yeah, ask me any more questions about it. But I hope it should not be a huge, overwhelming project. Just the chance for you to communicate, to analyze the data set and communicate those results to other people who are not familiar with the data set or with you or with what you've done. Okay, hi Sarah. Let's see, I am just starting to look at data with the flu vaccine project, the variables you have listed. Do we need to address all those variables, or can we choose some different variables? By all means. Let's see. Let me see, what did I list here? Okay, so you're asking, can you? So I didn't list poverty or income level in the original ones. You are very, very welcome to look in the full data set and pull out choose some different variables. I think that would be great. I would really welcome seeing some variety in the analyses and some variables that other students haven't studied. And you know, maybe variables that no one has studied. I'm not sure, but by all means, please take a look at the code book for the full data set and pick out the variables that you think are most interesting and study them. I think that's fantastic, and I'm very supportive of it. All right, are there more questions? Maybe I'll show you, if you are going to look at the full data set, there might be some tricks that would help you just in doing the analyses that you want in SAS. So I'm going to pull out the online engagement data set, the .sav file as it is on Blackboard. I'm going to open it up in SPSS in just a moment and show you some things that you need to do in SPSS just as part of the data preparation process. Because I just took the Excel file, which was from the Google Forms and imported it directly into SPSS. And so here's what it looks like. And for the full NYC Community Health Study data set, actually I think for both of them, these were converted with a SAS script provided by New York City to access their data set, and then just imported directly from an output file into SPSS. And so there are a couple things that need to be done in order to do something like even an ANOVA on this. See if I can do this right away. Actually, first thing, I will change the screen that I'm sharing. Okay, so that you can see my menu up here. So if I just opened it, haven't done anything. If I try to go analyze, compare means, one-way ANOVA, and I take approximate travel time with, I don't know, how comfortable you are as the factor. Let's see. Okay, it does work. Maybe you don't have to do anything. That's easy. You can also analyze, compare means. I don't think you need to use these. These are for if the equal variances test or if they don't have equal variance, it's a correction. So let's see, mean for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, even by default, it's using this correctly. So level 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the mean travel time in each. Okay, well, I see there are a couple questions here. So Sarah, each one will be compared separately against received flu shot variable in different 2x2 tables. Yes, exactly. I'm not expecting a multivariate analysis or correction for other variables. That is just fine. All right, so let's see. Yeah, some cleaning is needed for the full data set. So it seems to me that there maybe is not any needed for the hybrid course one. I'm going to open up the full community health study data set. See what happens when I open that. Oh, okay. I remember what the problem is here. One of these, prefer online, is not showing up. This was the one where some preparation was needed. And this is because in the data view, this one is not an integer. It's like this. And SPSS likes integers. And so you have to do a bit of work to get this ready to use. But you can do it. Let me see. Values we have were, I'm going to make a copy of these. So those were our levels. it involves going transform. You can do this automatic recode, but I think that requires creating a new variable. I'll try that first, the automatic recode. And it's this one that needs to be recoded. So I'll call prefer recode, add new name. And I think that's all that I have to do. So now if I look at prefer recode, it has turned this into integers for me. And under variable view, here it is, and it has this 1 equals in person, 2 equals online after class is over, and 3 equals online. So it's recoded. It's recoded this into integer values while keeping track of that. It is also possible to recode. Let's see. To recode this within the same variable using this, but I believe when you do this, you actually have to specify. You have to go like, copy this and say that you want that to be 1, add that, and do that for every level until you recode this variable. And then you'll be able to use prefer online in your analyses. But I'm going to go and try and I'm going to go ahead and do and analyze compare means one way, ANOVA. Let's see. That is a factor. So now I'm able to use this prefer. Notice it says prefer underscore recode here. So this is the new variable that I've created where the string characters are recoded as integers, and I can use that. But notice the original one, prefer online, is not available here. So you may have to do this for either project for any variable that was not an integer to begin with. The nice thing about doing it this way is that now SPS knows it's kept track of what these are, whereas if it had just been imported as integers originally, you would have to go back to the code book to know what 1, 2, and 3 meant. So now I can do the ANOVA, and I've got in the descriptives here the means for each of the levels. This is the mean travel time. So it works, and it has kept track of what these labels are, even though it's recoded as 1 to 3. So that's, I think, the most important data preparation trick that you need to know with both of these data sets. Let's see, I'm going to open up, oops. Okay, so most of these are actually, in fact, these are already recoded. Burrow kind of looks like, yeah, it's been done for all of these. So I don't think you actually are going to have to do this for the community health survey study. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, tons and tons of interesting variables here. All right. Any more questions? Okay, let's see. How can I compare an independent variable that has multiple answers, like the self-perceived health status? Um, so, so in this case, you're comparing an independent variable that is categorical against a dependent variable that is categorical. So that would be using a chi-square test. Um, the ANOVA I showed, I kind of cheated a little bit and did the association in the other direction because the independent variable really was travel time, and the dependent variable was preference. But I did it the other way because that's an easier method to do, and it's also an equally valid test of association between those two variables. It doesn't really matter which one you treat as the dependent and independent variable here in a correlative study. So to answer your question, if you have a multiple answer like self-perceived health status, there's good, average, and poor, that's 3 levels, and flu shot, that's 2 levels, yes or no. That would be a 3x2 contingency table, and it will have large numbers, and a chi-square test should be perfectly valid for doing that. Let's see, homework 7. The best I can say is check the syllabus. Whoa. Seven posted, 5. Okay, so that should be posted already. I'll send an email to Ollie and Tony and find out when that will be up. I guess I think Tony announced it would be due on the 19th instead of on the 12th. But I'll ask. It should be ready imminently. Any more questions? Let's see, I already completed the homework and did the chi-square test by hand, but wanted to do it in Excel to confirm. I couldn't find out the formula function. Can I quickly show in Excel? Yeah, well, I can try. I haven't done a chi-square test in Excel for a while, but let's see. So let's see. Suppose we have what? I don't know. 30, 20, 15, 35, something like that, for a 2x2 table. So let's see, sum V2 plus V3 equals V2 plus C2. So this is observed. Expected would be, let's say, equals D2 times B4 over, should add the total here, equals, got 100, so okay, so, oh, Tony laid it out perfectly. Oh, that would save me some time. Where do I find this sheet, Alex? Yeah, no point in inventing this again myself if Tony has already laid it out perfectly. I'm going to look for that. Thank you for the tip, Alex. No, that's not what I wanted. Or wait, is Tony section, oh, under assignments. Oh yeah, this is very nice. Oh my goodness. I definitely could not have done this in in the period of class, or during the office hour. Okay, so we've got observed values, expected values, so it looks like we're supposed to fill this in. So this is going to be equals E11 times C13 over E13. 50.4, and this is going to be equals E11 minus C11 equals C13 minus C11. Let's see, lots of yes, so I see this now, okay. So let's see, I'm going to go ahead and calculate the chi-square here. So chi-square is the sum of squares of differences here. So C4 minus C11 squared plus C5 minus C12 squared plus D4 minus D11 squared plus D5 minus D12 squared. Oops, and then I need to divide by, I need to remind myself of the formula, which is, let's see, lecture. Oh, why is this so slow? As you can see, I don't like memorizing formulas myself. I like to check them when I use them. So okay, so I'll do it with the Yates correction, and I need to divide by the expected values in each cell. So take the absolute value, make sure I do that right, yeah. Minus 0.5. I need to divide that by the expected, which there was C11. Oops, sorry, I gotta correct these. This one is C12, this one is D11, and this one 0.5 and over D12. So that should be chi-squared. Degrees of freedom is 1. And what I need here is the chi-squared distribution. So this is probably equals P chi-square. No. Chi-square dot dist, that looks like it. So we've got D21, degrees of freedom is D22, and cumulative equals true. And that, of course, is going to give us under left tail, so we're going to have to do 1 minus that. Oh, wait a minute, critical value. Sorry, I calculated here the actual p-value. For the critical value, we can look that up in a table. So I'm going to pull up a... Let's see, this is a little bit hard to see here. Oh, chi-square dot end. All right. Well, I'm just going to look this up quickly here at 0.95 and 1. It looks like 3.84. 3.84. So it does not quite exceed that. Let's try this value thing that Alex suggested here. Chi-square dot end 0.951, and oh yes, 3.84. So we can do it either way. By the way, there is also an easier way to do this probably. I think you could go chi-square dot test. Oh, and I think for actual range, well, let's try this, actual range and expected range. Oh, look, and it works. It gives us the same thing. So if I had done this by p-value, and the other way I did this was chi-square dot dist, and I did this with x, which was d21, 1 degree of freedom, d22, cumulative true, and 1 minus that. Oh, I'm not quite there. Let's see. I think that's because I did the Yates correction here, and this does not have the Yates correction. I could calculate this again without the Yates correction by getting rid of see, I got rid of all those. Yes, now they match exactly. Okay, so I think that our manual calculation was a little bit more accurate because it used the Yates correction for that. So here's the one-step version using the Excel chi-square dot test. Here is the many-step version where we actually calculate chi-square, the degrees of freedom, and then in the calculation of chi-square, potentially put in these Yates corrections, and then use chi-square dot dist, 1 minus chi-square dot dist with the calculated chi-square, degrees of freedom, and true for cumulative to get the p-value. Does that help, Sarah? All right. I hope that was helpful. Not much easier than by hand. No, that's true. I mean, basically, we're just using Excel as a glorified calculator here. I guess it saves you doing long division by hand, but yeah, other than that, not much extra help. You're welcome, Sarah. And I think I'm going to head home now, unless there are any other questions. And here I'm gonna. All right. Good night, everyone. This is me from my office. That's my folding bike back there in the corner. All right. Good night.